Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, January 6, 2025. Today we'll recap college basketball, NBA, NHL, look ahead to tonight's games in each sport, and same for soccer. On this day, we're going to do futures I want to make in the NBA and the NHL this year, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start with college basketball. We'll go over the results from yesterday, and we look ahead to tonight. Columbia over Cornell, 104.99. Number 10, Nebraska over Ohio State, 72.69. Arkansas Pine Bluff over Alabama State, 90.79. Prairie View over Southern, 89.85. Rutgers upsets Oregon, 88.85 in OT. Yale over Brown, 70.53. Green Bay over Milwaukee, 79.76. Dartmouth over Harvard, 76.68. Princeton over Penn, 78.76. Charleston over William & Mary, 88.79. Southeast Louisiana over Lamar, 60.52. Grambling over Texas Southern, 84.67. Texas Rio Grande over Incarnate Word, 80.67. Nichols over Northwestern State, 74.72. McNeese over Stephen F. Austin, 66.64. So best bet is an easy winner. Alabama A&M over Mississippi Valley State, 71.51. A&M Corpus Christi over Houston Christian, 81.65. New Orleans over East Texas A&M, 83.73. And number 12, Michigan State over USC, 80.51. All right, we have a good amount of games on the board tonight. 6 o'clock, UMass, Ohio. I have Ohio, 8.3. And it is 4.5 and 159.5. I'm going to lay the points with Ohio. 7 o'clock, Fox Sports 1, number 2, Michigan, Penn State. I have Michigan 13.7. And it is 21.5, 166.5. That's too high. Give me Penn State the cover. On ESPN, number 6, Duke, number 20, Louisville. Big game. My line's Louisville 1.5. And it is... I know Duke's probably favored. Yeah, Duke 1.5. Total 161.5. Give me Louisville plus 1.5. And minus 105 outright. So this is kind of closer to 1. But FanDuel doesn't like giving out regular numbers. SEC Network, number 18, Georgia, Florida. My line is Florida 5.7. And it's 9.5, 174. And if I like Georgia to cover that number, they're ranked. And I know the unranked team being favored, but Florida's that big of a favorite because they're the reigning national champions, not because they're ranked. ESPN 2, Cincinnati, West Virginia. West Virginia 1.7. It's 1.5, 131.5. I'll take the over. On Peacock, St. John's Butler, I have St. John's by 4. And it is 4.5 and 164.5. I like the under. I think that's a high number. Syracuse, Georgia Tech, ACC Network. I have Tech 0.7. And it's 2.5 and 147.5. I'll take Georgia Tech plus 2.5 and plus 126 to win. I think Syracuse is favored because they're Syracuse. Western Michigan, Miami of Ohio. I have Miami of Ohio 16.5. They're undefeated, by the way. Still. And it is 13.5, 160.5. Oh, I'm going to lay it with Miami of Ohio. Eastern Michigan, Ball State. I have Ball State 1.5. And that's what it is. 137.5 is the total. I like the over. Central Michigan, Akron. I have Akron 14.8. It's 22.5, 164.5. I'll take Central plus the points. Bowling Green, Kent State. Kent State 3.2. And it's 2.5, 155.5. I'll take the over. I don't feel good about it, though. ESPN News, South Carolina, LSU. I have LSU 5.5. And it is 7.5 and 145.5. I'm going to take South Carolina to cover. 8 o'clock, Big Ten, Network, number 19, Iowa against Minnesota. I have Iowa 3.7. Wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota's favored, though. No, Iowa 5.5, throw 131.5. I'll take the over. Number 25, UCF. Welcome to the rankings. UCF against Oklahoma State. I have Oklahoma State 4.7. It's 2.5 and 174.5. I'll lay 2.5 with Oklahoma State. And what's UCF going to do? They're going to lose and not going to be ranked anymore. CBS Sports Network, George Washington, Dayton. Really good game in the A10. I have Dayton 2.3, 3.5, 154.5. I'll take the under. Georgetown, DePaul on True TV. My line's DePaul .2. And DePaul is favored, guys. 2.5 total. 144.5. Guess what? I'm taking Georgetown plus 2.5. I can't believe it. I'm actually going to be on Georgetown. I thought I was going to be on DePaul as a dog here. Toledo, Northern Illinois. I have Toledo 6. And it is 7.5, 161.5. I'll take the under. Lindenwood, SIU, Edwardsville at 8:30. I have Lindenwood 5.2. It's Edwardsville 1.5 total 143.5. I'll take Lindenwood plus 1.5 and minus 106 to win. So that's kind of a pick 'em. Probably the best game. Actually, second best. I don't know. Duke Louisville's. I don't know what's a better game. This is a good game. So is Duke Louisville. First or second best game of the night, depending on how you feel. Fox Sports 1. Number 14, Texas Tech. Number 7, Houston. My line's Houston by 5, and it is 6.5, 142.5. I'll take the over. ESPN 2, Texas, and number 21, Tennessee. I have Tennessee 6.7. 10.5, 159.5. I'll take Texas to cover. 9 o'clock, ESPN TCU, number 22, Kansas. I have Kansas 5.7. And it's 7.5 and 149.5. I'll go over. New Mexico, Colorado State. I have New Mexico 1.7. And it is 1.5, 141.5. I'll take the over. On Peacock, UCLA, Wisconsin. I have UCLA 1.3. And it's Wisconsin 3.5 total, 153.5. I'll take UCLA plus 3.5 and plus 146 to win the game straight up. ACC Network, NC State, BC. I have NC State by 5. And it's 12.5, 141.5. I'll take BC plus 12.5. That's too high. Utah State, Air Force at that's also at 9. My line is Utah State 14.7. And it is 21.5 and 137.5. I'll take Air Force getting the big number. SEC Network, Texas A&M, Auburn. Mine's Auburn 2.5. And it is 6.5 and 165.5. I'll take A&M the cover. CBS Sports Network, 10 o'clock, UNLV, Wyoming. I have Wyoming as a 1.3 dog. And their favorite 3.5 total, 154.5. I'll take UNLV plus the points and plus 164 to win. Fresno State, San Jose State. I have San Jose State 3.2. It's 1.5 and 149.5. I'll take the over. And last but not least, 11 o'clock, Fox Sports 1, San Diego State, Nevada. That's a good game. Lions Nevada 1.5. That's what it is, and 141.5 is the total. I will go over on that game as well. Okay, now I'll move on to the NBA. We'll go over the results from yesterday, and we will look ahead to tonight. Tonight's a smaller window. Crazy results last night, too, by the way. Celtics over the Bulls, 115-101. Raptors over the Hawks, 118-100. Pistons over the Knicks, 121-90. That was probably the most impressive win of any team had. Rockets over the Suns, 197. Actually, no. This is the most impressive one. Hornets over the Thunder, 124-97. Worst loss of the night. Philadelphia 76ers losing at home by 1 point against the Denver Nuggets, who were missing their whole roster. 125-124 in OT. Clippers over the Warriors, 103-102. And the Blazers over the Jazz, 137-117. So, Charlotte and Detroit with impressive wins. Thunder and Knicks contenders got to be shaking their heads a little bit, right? And then the two teams that everybody thinks is going to the NBA Finals. And then the Thunder might have... Knicks have lost 4 straight. The Thunder are 500 in their last 12. And then the Sixers lose to the no-name Nuggets. But yeah, weird window. Weird games last night. All right, 7 o'clock. Cavs, Pacers. My line is the Cavs 3.25. And it is 6.5 and 236.5. I'm going to take the Pacers getting the points. It's just fun to fade the Cavs because the Cavs are like nobody. Magic Wizards. My line is the Magic by a half. It's 7.5, 1, 2, 3, 4.5. I like the Wizards getting the points a lot. I think they're live here. Plus 245 to win outright. I think they're going to beat them because there's no Franz Wagner, no Jalen Suggs. They just have Paulo, and really that's it. 8 o'clock Spurs Grizzlies. I have the Spurs 4.875, and it's 6 and 238.5. I'll take the under. On NBC and Peacock, Heat Timberwolves, I have Minnesota 8.25. It's 3.5, 238.5. I'll lay it with Minnesota. That's low. Lakers Pelicans, I have the Lakers by 1. It is 6 and 244.5. I'll take New Orleans plus the 6. No Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura still, and who knows about LeBron and Luka. They could be last-minute scratches. And at 11 o'clock on NBC and Peacock, Mavericks Kings. My line is the Mavericks 8.875. It's 5.5 and 232.5. I'll lay the points with the Dallas Mavericks. Okay, now move on to hockey. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight. Mammoth over the Rangers 3-2 in OT on a game winner by Sean Durzi. This is like a double loss for the Rangers because not only they lose at home in overtime, but they lose to Sturkin in the beginning of the game because of a lower body injury. I don't know if we have an update on that. That didn't come across. So we'll see. But like as I think stand right now, it might not be too bad. I think the social media reaction from that was just like, season's over. Typical fucking New York spoiled sports fans. That's what I took from it. And unfortunately, that does kind of refer to somebody that's been on the podcast before, to just overreacting as usual. Not going to name any names. Capitals over the Ducks 7-4. Red Wings over the Sens 5-3. Kraken over the Flames 5-1. Kings over the Wild 4-2. But yeah, I just Googled Igor injury while I was doing that. But there's an article that came out that said, no, the injury might not be that bad. Which I kind of feel that way too. Because if it was bad, I think we would have known already, right? Okay, so big slate tonight. 7 o'clock, Canucks Sabres from Buffalo. Sabres a big minus 172 favorite. Canucks plus 142 over under 6.5. Overs plus 110. Unders minus 134. Canucks plus 1.5 is minus 172. Sabres minus 1.5 is plus 140. Sabres are playing good hockey right now. I like the over in this game at plus 110. Avs Lightning. Avs minus 115. Lightning minus 104 over under 6.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 120. Or actually, overs minus 102, my bad. Avs minus 1.5 plus 205. Lightning plus 1.5 is minus 260. I can't believe how close this line is. The Avalanche have been head and shoulders above everybody else in the National Hockey League this year. The Lightning are just a slight home dog because they won a couple Stanley Cups in the past decade. But it tells you all you need to know. The Lightning are winning this game, minus 104. Ducks Flyers. Flyers minus 152, Ducks plus 126, over under 6.5. Over is plus 102, and there's minus 124. Ducks plus 1.5 is minus 196. Flyers minus 1.5 plus 158. I like the Ducks at home plus 126. I just don't trust the Flyers. Stars Hurricanes. That's a great game. So the two great games tonight. Canes minus 140. Stars plus 116 over under 6.5. Overs plus 108. Unders minus 132. Stars plus 1.5 is minus 15. Canes minus 1.5 is plus 172. For this one, I'm going to go Dallas on the road plus 116. It's rare to get Dallas as a dog. But here we are. And I think they're actually going to get it done. So 3 underdogs I like. I actually kind of think Vancouver has a shot too. So that's fun. Another big Metro game. Devils Islanders, 7:30 ESPN Plus and Hulu. Um, Devils are a road favorite, -115. The Isles are -104. Over under 5.5. Overs -102. Unders -120. Devils -1.5 +10. Isles +1.5 is -165. I think the Islanders are being disrespected in the betting market. I'm taking them as a slight home dog, -104. I think they close as a favorite. On TNT, Panthers Leafs. Panthers -120. Leafs even money over under 6.5. Overs +110. Unders -134. Panthers -1.5 +194. Leafs +1.5 is -245. I like the Leafs at home at even money. I might just put some round robin stuff in tonight. Like, this is crazy number of dogs, and even throw some NBA in there too. Golden Knights Jets at 8. Pick a -110 each way. Over under 5.5 -110 each way. Jets -1.5 +225. Vegas +1.5 is -290. Go with the home team, the Jets. That's just the easier call. Preds Oilers. Oilers -154. Preds +128. Over under 6.5. Overs -115. Unders -106. Preds +1.5 is -188. Oilers -1.5 +152. I'm gonna go with the over. This is the first time I'm going with the total, I think. Actually, a second. 10 o'clock. Blue Jackets Sharks. Jackets -132. Sharks +110. Over under 6.5. Overs -130. Unders +106. Jackets -1.5 +176. Sharks +1.5 is -220. I don't know if I trust the Blue Jackets on the road as a favorite on the West Coast against an improved Sharks team who have the best player on the ice in this game, and Malcolm Celebrini, and another dog +110. And then Bruins Kraken. The Bruins are a slight road favorite, -118. The Kraken -102. Over under 5.5. Overs -3. Unders +106. Bruins -1.5 +205. Kraken +1.5 is -265. I'm gonna go with the under at +106. And this is the first time I'm going to say this in a very long time in hockey. I think on a big slate like this, every underdog is live tonight. I know there's one pick'em game, but if that game closes as somebody as a favorite, that the opposing dog is going to be live. Every underdog tonight's live. Everyone. So I recommend putting all the underdogs in a round robin and maybe do it with the Wizards and the Pelicans in the NBA and a couple of college basketball stuff as well. Okay, now move on to soccer. We'll go over the results from yesterday and some of today's, and then we'll look ahead to tomorrow a little bit. So yesterday, Africa Cup of Nations, Egypt over Benin, 3-1. Nigeria over Mozambique, 4-0. Okay, and then going on now, EPL West Ham and Nottingham. We have a final Cup of Nations. Algeria over Congo DR 1-0. Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso going on now. Livingston St. Mirren Premiership postponed. Rangers Aberdeen going on now. Serie A, Sassuolo Juventus going on now. AS Roma over Lecce 2-0. And then Como over Pisa 3-1. Spanish Copa del Rey, Real Valenciano over Granada 3-1. Tomorrow's busy. I'm not going to pick the games because we have an activity to do on the show. So tomorrow, EPL 2:30, AFC Bournemouth Tottenham, Brentford Sunderland, Crystal Palace Aston Villa, Everton Wolverhampton, Fulham Chelsea, Man City Brighton and Hove, 3:15 Burnley Man United, and Newcastle United Leeds United. And then 2 o'clock tomorrow, Spanish Super Copa, Barcelona Athletic Club. Then Serie A tomorrow, 12:30 Bologna, Atalanta, Napoli Verona, 2:45 Lazio Fiorentina, Parma Inter, Torino Udinese. So there you have it for soccer. Now we'll do on this day. We'll look back on this day in the past in the world of sports. So it's a lot. 2014, Florida State wins the BCS championship. That was the last one. It was Jameis Winston. That was the same year that he went out and beat Clemson on the Saturday primetime game. And then, I remember they just went on and crushed everybody that year. They were better that year than they were the next year. The next year, I thought they were overrated and won all those close games, had all those comebacks. They're kind of like the Chiefs last year, in a way. 2013 NHL lockout ends. 2020 Cowboys hire Mike McCarthy. 2019 Timberwolves fire Tom Thibodeau. 2016 Ken Griffey Jr. elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. 2015 Randy Johnson elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. 2019 Eagles eliminate Bears after the double doink. 2020 Predators fire Peter Laviolette. 2017 Minnesota hires PJ Fleck. 2016 Buccaneers fire Lovie Smith. 2015 John Smoltz elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. 2024 Jaguars fired Doug Peterson. 2015 Pedro Martinez elected to Baseball Hall of Fame. But wait a second. Who was one and done in Jacksonville? They fired Doug. Did they mean 2025 of Doug Peterson? I think they messed up here. And All Sports News is usually good with this. Yeah. They meant 2025. Yeah, the date wrong. All right, I'm going to have to comment. All right, so 2015 Pedro Martinez elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. 2015 Maple Leafs fire Randy Carlyle. Oh my God, Randy Carlyle, another bad coach. 2016 Predators acquire Ryan Johansson. 2013 Bills hire Doug Maroon. 2024 Bryce Underwood commits to LSU. He ends up going to Michigan. 2018 Titans defeat Chiefs in the wild card round. Oh, that was the Mariota game. That was in 18? Yeah, that makes sense because Mahomes' first full season was 18-19. Yep, that makes sense. 2013 Seahawks defeat Redskins in the wild card round. So that was Russell Wilson over RG3. 2016 Royals re-sign Alex Gordon. 2016 Mike Piazza elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. 2023 Dodgers to designate Trevor Bauer for assignment. That was after what he was going through off the field. 2019 Chargers defeat Ravens in the wild card round. So who the hell was their quarterback then? Was it Phil Rivers? That would make sense. Yeah. It was Phil Rivers. And then Lamar on the other side. That was in the 17-18. Or that was the 18-19 season. Or no, Lamar wasn't their quarterback. It was, or maybe it was Lamar Jackson. Or maybe Joe Flacco played in the playoff game. I don't remember. Yeah, I honestly don't remember who was quarterback in the Ravens that day. If I had to guess, I'd say Flacco. Oh, no, it was Lamar Jackson. And then the next year was his big breakout year. And then 2020, the Rams and Wade Phillips parted ways. All right, so that was on this day. And I can't believe they got one wrong. So, that was a first. They're usually spot on with this stuff. So now I'll move on to features I want to make in the NBA and NHL. And I cannot cheat on this one because this has to be this calendar year's worth. So we're probably just going to do this season because Trey's injuries you can't really just predict. So the Atlanta Hawks. If there's a future I want to make on them right now, how about the Southeast Division? What if they randomly trade for Giannis and like Trae Young's on the move in like a deal too? So, and then maybe they get better without Trae Young, yada yada. The Boston Celtics. The future, I can't wait to bet for them. All right, this is a ballsy one. Why not grab a lottery ticket on them to win the Eastern Conference? You have Jason Tatum probably coming back mid-season, and Jaylen Brown is really turned into played like a top 10 player this year. He's going to be an All-NBA. And why not have a lottery ticket in case something happens to the Knicks on somebody, and that somebody should be the Boston Celtics if they get Jason Tatum back. So the Jason Tatum thing's a big part of this. So Celtics win the East. Brooklyn Nets to finish with the worst record in the NBA. Right now they don't have the worst record in the NBA, but they're probably going to trade Michael Porter Jr. So maybe they tank after that, and maybe Indiana tries a little bit. And you never know. And Sacramento tries. Like, so you have some of these teams that are tanking right now that might end up trying at the end of the year to save jobs and whatnot. But Indiana, maybe just because of for pride, and they're reigning Eastern champs, and they don't want to go out like this. So why not take a chance on Brooklyn to finish with the worst record, assuming they trade Porter? I'm trying to go in ABC order here. Yeah. All right. Charlotte. To make the play-in tournament. I picked them to make the play-in before the year. I'm going to stand by that prediction. You probably can get it at plus money. Chicago Bulls. They're probably a minus to miss the playoffs. So I can't really bet on that. But if there's like an alternate, maybe like alternate under wins, like 30 wins maybe, if they decide to blow up their team. The Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm tempted to say win their division, but Detroit, I think, is going to wrap that up. So I can't say that. So if I had to put a future on the Cavaliers for something, maybe a lottery ticket on them to make the Eastern Finals, but you have to wait a little bit to do it if they continue to lose and stuff. And you just have a lottery ticket on them to be in the Final Four and get it at plus money. Dallas Mavericks to make the play-in. Or make the playoffs. How about that? Let's take it a step further. Playoffs, not necessarily the play-in. Maybe they make it through the play-in to get in, but maybe they make the playoffs. And maybe they improve their roster somehow to go with Flag, and maybe they keep Anthony Davis. Denver Nuggets. I really think there's going to be value on them now with all these guys injured to win the West. So, Western Conference champs ticket for the Denver Nuggets. Detroit Pistons. I bet you they're not plus money to be the 1 seed anymore with their dominant win over the Knicks. But a good one Why not Cade Cunningham MVP? What if they are their 1 seed? And then OKC continues to falter. They rack up some wins. Cade Cunningham MVP might be a good number. You'll definitely get that at plus money. But some of these futures you got to pay for. Okay, the Warriors. So Golden State's a little bit tricky. How about them to miss the postseason? I mean, they're probably minus to make it because they're Golden State. Houston Rockets. This is a good one. But why not them to win the Southwest Division? Because the Spurs are probably the favorites right now, but Wembanyama's hurt, so why not? Indiana Pacers. This is a fun one. Put a bet on them to win the NBA draft lottery. Because it would be a team like that wins. Los Angeles Clippers. I would put a lottery ticket on them to make the play-in. But if that's minus money, then try the playoffs. Like Dallas. So the Lakers. This is an interesting one. The Lakers. I would. This is a funny one. The haters are gonna love this. Like playoff outcome, they'll lose in the first round. The West is just too loaded, and I don't think they're that good. Season finish, like outcome, first round exit. You can bet on that, I think. Memphis. This is an interesting one. I'm gonna say for Memphis, if you can get like an under 35.5 wins, like maybe they trade Ja and then they go the other way. The Miami Heat. This is just so appropriate. But the obvious bet for them is to be in the play-in, because they're in the play-in every freaking year. The Milwaukee Bucks. So this is probably the most tricky team on the board because of the Giannis stuff. But why not take a chance on them to make the playoffs in case they keep them? So you're hedging that Atlanta one a little bit. But that guy might not be Giannis that Atlanta could get. The Minnesota Timberwolves. Outcome. Second round of the playoffs, I think is a good one. So we'll do that. New Orleans. If there's like an under 25 wins. All right, the New York Knicks. They've lost 4 straight games. They looked really bad against Detroit. You know what that means? There's value on them to win the title, probably. I would just jump on them to win the title while they're not playing well, because if when they turn it around, that number's only going to get shorter and shorter and shorter. So jump on it now while you can. Oklahoma City Thunder. season outcome, losing the conference finals. They are 6-6 in their last 12, and the West is loaded. The Orlando Magic. Second round exit outcome. That's a good one for them. Philadelphia 76ers. That's an interesting one. But first round exit would be my guess. If you can get that feature somewhere. Phoenix Suns missed the play-in altogether. Playoffs play-in altogether. I just think they're a fluke. Portland, let's do like over. There's a way for like over 35 wins. Because once their guys come back, I can see them playing well. Sacramento under 25 wins, but they're a joke. San Antonio. This is an interesting one. You can make a case to win the West. And I know it'll take Wemby out of a lot of awards. But how about Stephon Castle for most improved? The Toronto Raptors play-in tournament. Utah Jazz. This is a fun one. How about over 20 wins? Or maybe even over 25 wins. I can get a little frisky because I don't think that team's the atrocity people think it is. The Washington Wizards. This is an interesting one. Although Portland, you could have made a case Denny Avia for most improved, but I gave out Castle. And the whole point of this game, too, is you can't look at the futures board. Because sometimes you got to pay big. You have to guess the value. So, Washington, this is a good one. Maybe same as Utah. Take a chance over 23 wins or something like that. Or over the win total. Alright, there you have it for NBA. Alright, NHL. I'm going to rapid fire this one. Looking at the standings isn't really cheating because the Vegas odds don't reflect the standings. So the Anaheim Ducks. I'm going to say third place in the division if you can bet on that. Division placement third. As I think they're a good team. The Boston Bruins. They are probably a minus to miss the postseason. But last in their division. Division placement last, if you can do that. Buffalo. This is an interesting one because they're finally kind of in the mix. But I'm going to say 5th place division placement if that's a such future. Calgary. They're really bad. I'm going to say last in the division. Carolina Hurricanes. I know they're a -2 in that division, so they're probably going to win it. How about them to win the East? That's not a bad call. You can get plus on that. Chicago Blackhawks. How about if there's a 6th place in the division that or over their points, over their point total? Colorado Avalanche. If Nate McKinnon's not a minus to win the Hart, then get it. Bank on it while you can. Because McDavid's probably the favorite because it's McDavid. So, how about McKinnon for the Hart Trophy? The Columbus Blue Jackets, I have a good one for you guys. Actually, no, they're in last in the East. Never mind. I thought about their coach for Coach of the Year, but, nah. They are probably going to finish last in their division. But this is a hard one for them. How about under the point total? The Dallas Stars. I think this team is very good. I would take a chance on them to win the West, at whatever the number is. Detroit Red Wings are probably not favored to win their division, so I'd actually take them now to win their division because you'd think Tampa's probably the favorite. The Edmonton Oilers. This is a funny one. I can't believe how bad the Pacific Division is. Like, the Rangers would be in first in that division right now. So would the Devils. So would the Penguins. So would the Flyers. So, Edmonton. Because they aren't far away from missing the postseason either. I wonder what their number would be to miss the postseason entirely. It's probably a really good lottery ticket to have in case of an injury. Same for the team that won their last 2 Stanley Cups, the Florida Panthers. They're probably plus money to miss the playoffs right now too. The Kings of Los Angeles. First round exit. Like outcome. Minnesota Wild. I think the Central Division's a wrap. I really can't give them out. But over the point total is not a bad call for them. Here's a bold one. Montreal Canadiens. To miss the postseason entirely. Would be bold. That would mean Florida have to jump them, but I'm not going to do that one. First round exit is realistic for them. Nashville Predators under the point total. New Jersey Devils. I'm going to say they make they're probably minus to make the playoffs right now. So maybe first round exit. Here's a good one. The New York Islanders. I think that they're probably on a long shot for this, but they can absolutely win the Metro Division. I think they're good. I'd take a lottery ticket on that. The New York Rangers, um, they're only 7 back of first place. But they're probably plus money to make the playoffs because they're 3 back. So I'd give out make the playoffs for the Rangers with hopes that Igor Shesterkin can sign out long term. Ottawa Senators. They've been a huge disappointment this year. I feel like they're disappointing every year, though. But I'd say over the point total. I think that's a team that could turn it around a little bit. Philadelphia Flyers missed the postseason entirely. Same for the Pittsburgh Penguins. San Jose Sharks is a good one. How about them to make the playoffs? That's probably plus money. Seattle Kraken missed entirely. The St. Louis Blues. This is an interesting one. Last place in the division. It's a good one. Tampa Bay Lightning to win the Eastern Conference. I mean, I don't know if they're the favorites, but they're right. They have to be right there. Carolina's probably the favorite, but oh wait, I said Carolina to win the Eastern Conference. Then Tampa to make the Eastern Conference final. Oh, I have a good one though for Tampa. Andrei Vasilevsky to win the Vezina. Toronto Maple Leafs to make the postseason. Vancouver Canucks. Under the point total, I feel like they're gonna flame out with make some more trades. Vegas Golden Knights to win the Stanley Cup. The Washington Capitals. I thought of them to win the Metro because they won it last year. But maybe first round exit be a good like pocket bet to have. And then the Winnipeg Jets. They have the worst record in the West right now. And that's unfortunate. That's because Hellebuck was out. But I think they dodged the cellar too. Maybe like a 5th place finish in their division. And then the bottom could be St. Louis, Nashville, Chicago, Winnipeg from bottom to 5th. Alright, so there you have it for futures I want to make. News and notes is next. That didn't take as long as I thought it was going to take, so that's good. So Cliff Kingsbury to get head coaching interviews with the Giants and the Titans. So those are interesting ones. Speaking of the Giants, Russell Wilson reveals that he had a torn hamstring he played on, and he had the injury from the coaching staff prior to week 2 against the Cowboys. That's crazy. I wish they diagnosed it, and then maybe Dart would have been playing sooner, and the season could have gone differently. So Stefanski to meet with 3 teams after being fired from the Browns. He's supposed to meet with the Falcons, the Giants, and the Titans. I'd be more than happy to have him as the Giants coach if my top 2 choices are unavailable, which are the 2 head coaches that coached in that awesome game on Sunday night. The Raiders have a nepotism issue as offensive linemen held their own meetings amid issues with coach Brendan Carroll. Wow. The Falcons rework Kirk Cousins' deal as he's likely to be decided March 13th after agreeing to a modified contract. The Commanders fired defensive coordinator Joe Witt Jr., so they're having a coaching overhaul. And then Jaden Daniels among players blindsided by Cliff Kingsbury's exit. Falcons start GM search as they request interview with Bears assistant GM Ian Cunningham. Denzel Perryman and DK Metcalf are returning to their teams for the postseason. The Dolphins have their GM list out. Cardinals, Kyler Murray timeline. Arizona has until March 16th to make a decision. The Raiders downplay Max Crosby buzz as John Spytek believes that Max embodies what a Raider is amid trade rumors. Rivers backs himself as an NFL head coach as he is confident he can coach at this level, but says he's not pursuing a job currently. Tennessee's interviewing Raheem Morris. Don't know if I love that. Tua's hoping for a fresh start, and Tua's supposed to meet with Mike McDaniel today. They will have conversation to remove emotions, discuss next year. And Atlanta requests head coaching interviews from Clint Kubiak of the Seahawks and Dolphins defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver, which is the second name on the head scratcher. 49ers linebacker Tatum Bethune unavailable for the playoffs. That's not good for them as their defense keeps getting worse and worse. Big Christmas lands with the Baltimore Orioles. That's Johanski Noel. The A's have 2 trademarks rejected as team name change is becoming an issue. Texas wide receiver Parker Livingstone is going to Oklahoma. Redshirt freshman quarterback from Georgia Tech, Aaron Philo commits to Florida. USF quarterback Byron Brown follows their coach Alex Golesh to Auburn. Hugh Lacey staying at Ole Miss. Bryce Underwood staying in Michigan. 5-star quarterback Husan Longstreet of USC may transfer. He's considering entering the portal. Brendan Sorsby, the new Texas Tech quarterback, is out earning Shadur Sanders. He's making more money than Shadur's 4-year rookie NFL deal, which is so funny. Says a lot about Shadur Sanders, in my opinion. Trey Wisner's transferring to Florida State, so Texas is losing a lot of people. James Dolan was not aware of any trade discussions involving Giannis. And why, in a weird way, I say why should he be? But the reason why he's saying that is because the Knicks, I'll put it this way, the Knicks don't need him. They like, hey, we're good. But hey, I don't disagree with the Knicks. And then James Dolan with a big bold prediction. He says we're going to raise the NBA championship banner. I think he has a chance to be right. I do. Karl Anthony Towns rips the Knicks play as he says he was very upset. He did not hold back. Arch Manning made $6.8 million this season on NIL deals his first year as a starter. Montana State won the FCS championship as they blocked the Bobcats' extra point and responded to a touchdown and overtime thriller. So Illinois State ended up covering. Nikola Jokic, the Nuggets hope he's back by the All-Star break at worst. Alperen Sengun out 10 to 14 days with an ankle injury. not great. Draymond okay after loose balls. He says he's fine despite being beat the fuck up. The top 4 free agents are in a standoff as teams are waiting to see if Tucker, Bregman, Bichette, or Bellinger signs firsts. The refs missed the Clippers' goaltend as the crew chief admits the error after Steve Kerr's ejection last night. And Terry Stotts filled in for Steve Kerr at the press conference. Kevin Durant told the Suns to go home after hitting the game winner. That's funny. Snoop Dogg called an NBA game. That was funny. And then KD said that the Suns kicked them out. Mbappe missed the Super Cup with a knee injury today. The Cowboys fired Matt Eberflus. It'll be their 4th DC in 4 years, which is very bad for that organization. Trae Young and the Hawks are working on a trade as the side started collaborative talks to move him. We talked about the Nuggets beating the Sixers without everybody. And the Wizards are a legit trade destination for Trae Young, and the deal would center around CJ McCollum. I mean, when is CJ McCollum not in a trade? Sakaria Branch of Georgia declares for the draft. Jaden Daniels hypes 2024 quarterback class. He knows he's a part of a badass class of quarterbacks. He is. It's him. It's Drake May. It's Caleb Williams. It's Bo Nix. It's JJ McCarthy. That's a great group. But some will say, well, it's really just those top 3 because those 2 other guys didn't elevate their teams. I mean, it's not fair to Bo Nix. They're the 1 seed. I mean, he does have limitations. I mean, JJ's coming off an injury, and I feel like the Vikings are already freaking panicking about him, which isn't a good sign. People are saying he's Josh Rosen already. Browns GM Andrew Berry says that the team will do its work on the quarterback market this offseason as QB1 is uncertain. And that is it. Actually, no, just coming down now. That's a lie. Something that I wanted to hear. The Giants are interviewing Kevin Stefanski as he is to meet with the Giants 2 days after being fired. Yeah, so the Giants look like they know what they're doing. All right. Best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I do love the idea of the round robin. But my best bet tonight is going to be the Washington Wizards getting 7.5 at home against the Magic. The Magic are missing some key players. So I think that the Wizards are a good side here to cover against the Magic. So there you have it for the show, and I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. Look at everything tomorrow as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.